I was determined not to record a citrus-themed video today. I'm in a hurry to transplant one of my tangerine trees that's actually from a nursery and it needs to go in a bigger pot. And I felt kind of bad because I had let the thing kind of get all covered with clover, and there was like dill growing all over it, and there were fire ants in the pot, and it was getting shaded out by stuff. And this is a good way to take care of a citrus tree. But see, this is one of my babies that I started from seed, and I'm kind of one of those parents that plays favorites, unfortunately. All my trees from seed just do so well. They're so vigorous and healthy, and they don't need water, and they just grow great. And so I take even better care of them than I do the stuff from the nursery, because, I don't know, I'm the one who planted the seeds, and, you know, help those who help themselves, said the Lord. These trees are growing great, and that makes me want to help them. Whereas the nursery stuff's usually pretty weak and finicky, and half the time the rootstocks just sprout and overtake the little nursery graft. But anyway, I just found a baby lemon tree that's in a pot, and it's literally covered in mint and tomato. I couldn't even see it. I feel like such an awful parent. This one's bad enough. I'm trying to move this one because it's getting all shaded out. But check this out. There's a lemon tree in here, y'all. What a terrible, terrible parent I am. Terrible gardener, possibly a terrible human being for allowing this to happen on my watch. So I gotta get all this mint off of here. I can't even find the pot this thing's in. Ugh. Somebody should call Nursery Protective Services and have my plants removed from the premises, because I'm clearly unfit. Oh man. Well, we're about to see just how hardy citrus are. Is this thing gonna survive? Oh look, there's a loquat tree in here too. Oh, look at that. Little baby loquat tree. Oh man, I feel so bad about this. I haven't even seen this thing in like a year. I forgot it existed. Wow. It's got all these weeds in the pot. Oh, John, why did you do that? Why? Terrible person. I'm shocked this thing's alive. It was getting 0 sun, 0 water. Ow, that's a big thorn. 0 sun, 0 water, getting destroyed by clover. Wow. Well, citrus continues to impress me by its ability to just kind of like go in this dormant state. And I bet you in a couple weeks, if I start giving this thing some fertilizer and some water and some sunlight, this thing will probably look great in a few weeks. And then it can be rewarded by going into a bigger pot. Wow, those clover root systems are... Usually when I see little clovers popping up in pots and raised beds, I don't really worry about it because, you know, it's good fertilizer and good for the soil health. But you never want it to get to a point where the clover is out competing your lemon tree. Ooh, I'm gonna get another thorn in my hand. I didn't think these ones from the nursery usually had thorns. Oh, well, I think I got most of the, clover out of there, actually. Wow, look at the graft way down there. That shouldn't be buried like that. That's not good either. What has happened to this tree? It's like it sunk down or something. I gotta transplant this pretty quickly, I think, before this graft rots. I wonder if the clover down here is the only thing that didn't keep this from rotting, because the clover is right up against the stem of the citrus. And I wonder if the clover, you know, sucking up water actually prevented this citrus stem from rotting. My sneaking suspicion is probably yes. But anyway. Okay, that looks like I can see the graft point now. Anyway, this is not a good way to take care of a citrus tree. Don't be an asshole like me and leave your citrus to get destroyed by all kinds. Is there another one down here, or is this the same one? This is the one I meant to move. This one I haven't hurt quite as badly. But this is how you actually take care of one. So this guy just went in this huge, like 40-gallon fabric pot a few minutes ago. It came out of a pretty sizable pot. I'm not sure what the volume is on it. My guess, thorns in my fingers, plastic shards everywhere. That's why I hate plastic pots. That's why I've switched to fabric pots. How many gallons is this? I don't know. I want to say that's probably 10, maybe 15. Probably 15 actually, because there's a 5-gallon Lowe's bucket, 5-gallon Home Depot bucket. This is probably about 3 of those. So it went from like a 15-gallon pot into what I think is a 40. This might be a 35. The tag's peeled off, but I remember I did order one 40-gallon fabric pot, and this is the biggest one I've seen out here, so this is probably it. But I'd already had this full of soil because it was potatoes and carrots and some other stuff this winter. And I think that's actually a really good thing to do before you plant, you know, something really important and expensive and delicate like a citrus tree from the nursery. Don't plant it into like fresh potting mix straight out of the bag. Because fresh potting mix straight out of the bag, even if you amend it with compost, you're not going to have that microbiome in the soil, that microbial system that, you know, just kind of keeps everything balanced and regulated and makes sure the plants are always, you know, doing fairly well in terms of nutrient acquisition and, you know, pH of the soil and soil moisture content and all that. So it's actually a good idea to, you know, leave your citrus tree or your nursery fruit tree in the pot that it came in for a little while. Just keep it well watered and fed while you prepare a big home for it, and then cover crop that for a little while with something. You know, this huge fabric pot, like I said, had carrots and radishes, and I think there's still some lettuce in here. Just plant something, and that way the fruit tree doesn't have to be the first living thing to go into like brand new sterile potting mix. Plant something else in there first, let it get lots of rainwater, let those roots develop, let them attract microbes and earthworms, and once you have a whole ecosystem in your container, then go ahead and transplant your delicate fruit tree that you paid a lot of money for into here. So that's what I did today. I just dug, you know, I don't know, about 12 inches down or so into this fabric pot. I actually found some carrots down at the bottom that were just sitting there that didn't have any green tops on them. Green tops must have got munched off by something. There were like 2 or 3 carrots like way deep down there. I just let them in there. They can rot and just, you know, it's fine. But anyway, so this is a good way to take care of your citrus tree. When I dug the hole in here, I added a bunch of bone meal and some Chilean sodium nitrate. I got the bone meal and the Chilean nitrate off Amazon since I'm not going to the store. I try to do most of my own fertilizer just in the garden. I try to compost and cover crop and use urine and use whatever I can find. But occasionally I will buy something for, you know, something fancy like my fruit trees. So this is mainly a phosphorus supplement, the bone meal. And then it's heavy. This is pretty serious here, the 1502. Serious stuff. Plants will respond to that. Yeah, so this is a good way to take care of a citrus tree. This is an awful way to take care of a citrus tree. This is somewhere in between. I'm gonna see if I can move this one real quick while the camera's still rolling, just so we can see what's left of this and if it will recover. I think it probably will. It's not nearly as bad off as some of the others. Oh, wow. That looks fairly healthy there. I mean, there's definitely some clover growing in it, as well as some weird other weeds. There's like mimosa tree looking weeds. I don't know what they're called, but they grow really quickly and they get really bad and they make seeds everywhere, I think, these things. But this one looks like it's gonna be okay. I gotta apologize for this one. I can't believe I let that happen. That thing was probably like 20 or 25 bucks at the nursery too. Just let it disappear. I mean, how many other things have disappeared under here? This is a bell pepper plant that has disappeared under here. Oh my gosh, there's another tangerine tree down here. Man, this one's even tinier. Y'all, I am sorry. I am a horrible person. How many of these trees have I just abandoned? There's a grapevine down here, a muscadine grapevine. So this is a citrus tree I accidentally abandoned 2 or 3 years ago. It was a seed-started citrus tree, and it outgrew its pot too quickly. And I guess the soil was just kind of saturated from all the summer rain, and the roots from this thing went straight through the pot and into the ground and have since destroyed the pot. The entire pot has now, I guess, exploded. The root system just exerted continual pressure on the inside of the pot until the point that the pot cracked and exploded. And then this thing's roots really went into the ground, and I'll probably never get it out of here at this point. So I don't think I'm gonna bother trying to dig the thing up and move it to my permanent fruit orchard down the road. It's just not worth it. I already have 4 or 5 seed-started citrus trees over there already, and moving this thing would really stress it out. I'm just gonna let it grow. It's also under an oak, which is interesting because there's a lot of associations reported about citrus and oaks as fantastic companion plants, or more so that oaks are nurse plants for citrus, rather. I'm not sure if the citrus necessarily benefits the oak. It may in some unknown way, but planting citrus under oaks has been observed by many gardeners and farmers and homeowners to somehow protect or nurse those citrus trees a little bit. I suspect that it's probably through mycorrhizal fungi associations with the root systems of the oaks, and then the oaks are able to, shuttle some nutrients and water if necessary to the citrus trees. There's also some suggestion that oaks may have some role in deterring citrus greening disease from citrus. That could be like a direct effect of maybe the citrus is somehow harder to find if it's under an oak tree, or perhaps if a citrus tree is infected with the greening disease, the oak is able to, like we talked about, nurse it through those fungal associations in the roots and kind of help that citrus tree along, even if it's being attacked by, the HB bacteria or whatever. But I can't believe I found another tangerine tree down here that I abandoned. I really gotta look under this mint and see what's out here. Like, it looks like I left the garden for like a year or two, but I didn't. I've been here the whole time. I've just been doing other things in the garden, and I didn't remember that I had all these pots over here. But yeah, I mean, this is another citrus tree down here in a pot that I forgot about, and I don't deserve for this thing to still be alive, honestly. It would have been a good lesson for me if this thing, the other one, had just died. That's what I deserve, for these things to die, because I forgot about them. If I had forgotten about a pet, even like a fish or something, if I had forgotten about it this long, it would have been long dead. But I don't remember what type of tangerine tree this one is. It's a little baby. It doesn't have the nursery tag on it anymore, but I'm positive it's from the nursery. It's so little. This isn't anything I started from seed. Wow, I mean, it looks like it's gonna make it. Yeah, there's a bunch of citrus trees all over the garden now. I'm not sure how many more I have. We'll walk around and see if we can find some more citrus trees hiding anywhere. Let's see. I know there's one over here that I actually rescued a few weeks ago. I'm trying to take care of this one now. I want to say there's like one hiding over here by the fence that... Yeah, I think we did look at that in the garden tour this morning because it was dead and resprouted. No, we looked at the avocados that died and resprouted. We didn't look at the citrus over here that died and resprouted. Yeah, so there's 2 over here. Yeah, so I gotta rescue these guys too. The clover is far taller than the citrus tree that's in the pot. At least this one here is in a fabric pot, so it'll be easy to move, and it's not outgrown its pot yet. This is from seed, but like I said, it completely died last year, and this is all new growth. This one here, I don't know what I'm gonna do about, because this bucket is probably so old that if I pick it up, it's just gonna turn into plastic shards. But I can't let this clover sit in here because this clover is way, way out competing the citrus. So I gotta do something about that later today. I'm trying to have a serious work day out here today where I just get a bunch of stuff done. But anyway, this was just a little citrus update. So yes, you can grow citrus pretty much anywhere as long as you are willing to put them in big pots and bring them in the house when the temperatures get below about 35. There's people in North Dakota and Canada that grow citrus. Not on a commercial scale, but you can definitely do it on a homeowner, homestead, backyard farm type of scale. If you are up north, just choose cold hardier varieties or do everything from seed. If you do everything from seed, fruit qualities may be slightly unpredictable, but they'll probably be fine. If they turn out not to be fine, you can always graft other things onto them. But yeah, try to do your citrus trees from seed if you're in an environment that isn't super favorable to citrus. And if you do want to get something from the nursery and you're up north, look for a trifoliate orange rootstock. The trifoliate orange tends to be one of the more cold-tolerant citrus varieties. Lemons and limes tend to be the least cold-tolerant. Oranges and grapefruits kind of in the middle. The most cold-tolerant are going to be things like your some tangerines. I want to say I heard that like there were a couple other varieties that were a little bit more cold-tolerant. I know about the trifoliate orange. But yeah, tangerines tend to be a little more cold-tolerant than lemons and limes for sure. But anyway, I'm going to try to spend the day rescuing more citrus trees, and then if I get comments on the other video in time, I might plant whatever y'all think I should plant back there in that other plot we looked at earlier today. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in to this little citrus update. And how many little citrus trees did we look at today? We looked at the baby one over here, the seed. We rescued 2 tangerines. We looked at 2 lemons over here. We looked at the Meyer lemon over here. And we looked at the 2 seed-started citrus by the fence. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 9 or 10. So we only have 9 or 10. Oh, and the one I forgot about, maybe 11. So we only have like 11 citrus trees at this particular location right now, and they're all little. Oh, we also got one in the front yard. You want to look at the weird citrus in the front yard? So this is basically a plant that is asking to be air layered, and I'll probably make a video later about air layering because it's one of the hedge your bets ways to take cuttings or clones from a fruit tree with a possibly lower risk of losing some of the rooting branches. So this tree here is asking to be air layered, and this is kind of something that I contributed to. So this was a seed started citrus tree, so it was very vigorous and it was growing fast, and because it was seed started, I assumed it was going to be just as cold tolerant as all my other seed started trees. There's actually quite a bit of variability. You can take 10 seeds out of 1 orange or 1 lemon and start them all, and they may respond very differently to environmental conditions, and that's due to recombination. You know, when you take seeds out of a fruit, they are not clones of that fruit. They are recombinants of that fruit and whatever other fruit that fruit may have been pollinated with. But so anyway, this tree is only about 1.5 years old, so it's exceptional amount of vertical growth for being 1.5 years old, and it got to about 5 feet tall last year in the fall, and then in the winter when it got down to 25 degrees, it dropped every single leaf. The whole thing just turned into a brown dead stem, and you can still see the old growth that is all brown and dead, completely brown and dead. I didn't think this thing was going to resprout. I was about to just cut it down and plant something else, and then we got a bunch of rain in the spring, and when the weather started getting warmer, it started putting out all this new growth. I've also been like urinating on this thing pretty much every day for months. I don't even dilute it. I just come out here with a watering can full of straight urine and just water this thing almost every day. And so that's why it's got all this like really soft new growth on it. It's been getting way more nitrogen than it's used to. And so it's got these branches that are just flopping all over the place. And this is a great opportunity to air layer a plant. I mean, if I don't do anything about this, this branch is eventually just gonna get so heavy, it snaps right off. So instead of just having it snap and get wasted, I'm gonna try to take this as a cutting. I'm gonna air layer it. Not that you necessarily want to take cuttings from things that are seed started unless they turn out to have great fruit qualities, but I'm just gonna do it for the practice mainly because I want to get better at fruit tree grafting. But there's at least 4 branches on here that really want to be air layered. I mean, look at this one. It's just completely laying over. So that's gonna be a cutting. This is gonna be a cutting. This one might be a cutting. I might actually leave one of them to keep growing. You don't want to have all of this new, soft, supple growth on here as you get into colder temperatures, because that's the type of growth that's way more susceptible to frosts and freezes. It's also more susceptible to like insect pests. You can see how these leaves are smaller and they're much like harder. They're older leaves, and then you got all this new growth that's just so soft. And anyway, so yeah, I guess I have 12 citrus trees over here, but they're all small. And only a few are fruiting, and it's the ones from the nursery that are fruiting. And then about a mile down the road I have, I don't know, probably 15 like big citrus trees. Anyway, that's my little citrus update.